Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
I'm Lynn.
And today we're going to be reviewing and showing you how to play Kiln. But before we get into this, I want to say there's a link to my Patreon in the description below. If you're in a position to and would like to help out the channel, over there you can get access to early release videos, behind-the-scenes videos, and even the ability to request review and tutorials to your favorite classic games. And also, there's a link to my Teespring store in the description down below where you can get access to all sorts of cool gamer gear, t-shirts, mugs, etc. Go ahead, check it out. Link in the description below. So, I want to give a big thank you to Nestorgames for sending me this copy of Kiln to play and review. Now, this is not an abstract. Most of Nestorgames games are usually abstracts of some kind, but this one is really different, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's
like a puzzle game.
It's like a slide puzzle. It's got a lot of
Pattern forming.
Yes, it's very pattern forming. The colors are great. Let's show some of the components. So first off, one thing I really like, they do not skimp when you get this from Nestorgames. You get 4 dry erase markers, which dry erase markers are going to be very important. You'll see when we're showing you how to play playing this game. You get a bunch of colored tokens, 2 each for each of the colors of the players, plus a bunch of silver ones and a black one. The black one's for scoring, and the silver ones are for some advanced rules and such. And then you get a bunch of these really cool colored plastic tiles where they spell out the word Kiln. So like the red ones are the letter N, the yellow ones are L, the blue ones...
They're K.
Yeah, they're K. There you go. I love how you just knew that. The green ones are I.
I just set it up.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we just played a game of this actually. And then you've got the board, which is in typical fashion from Nestorgames. It is a neoprene board, very nice. You know, the same kind of material you would see for your mouse pad. It's got a big grid on it of squares and a scoreboard on the bottom. I mean, it's plain white, but you've got the colors for the title. So I don't know if it's like exceptionally pretty, but it's functional.
Yeah, I mean, once you have all the tiles on it, they're all different colors, so
then it makes it a lot more attractive.
You don't even see like half the board.
It's true. I mean, so like it doesn't really need to be pretty since the tiles are so pretty because of all the bright colors.
It just needs to be functional.
Yeah, and it serves that. And then you've got the little warehouse boards, which have little grids for themselves, plus cheat sheets for how to score on them. And these are really cool and very functional, and they are laminated, so you use the dry erase markers on these. We'll show you how these work while we are playing it. And then we've got the rules. So for the rules, you've got the actual rules for the basic game of Kiln, which come with a lot of really great diagrams to show you how to play. These are really fantastic. The rules go about, let's see, a little more than 2 pages before you start getting into advanced variants and strategy tips. There's like half a page of advanced versions and strategy tips, but the actual rules is only a little over 2 pages. So it's not too complex, but definitely more advanced than, say, one of their basic abstract games. Because this is like we said, this is not an abstract. This is more of a pattern-forming slide puzzle type game. And so there is a little more to this. Would you agree?
Yes.
So, without any further ado, we're going to take you over to the table, and we're going to run you through a number of turns for a 3-player game. This plays at 2 to 4. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about how this game plays, how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so here we're set up to play a 3-player game of Kiln. So you each pick colors and then randomly set up the Kiln tiles on the board and randomly place the black tile in one of the outer areas of the board. I recommend doing the black tile first before you have a look at what the board is set up like and what colors everybody is being. You agree upon one of the point totals with a gray stripe on the scoreboard to be the goal for the game. We've currently put it at 14 points. Each player takes one of their warehouses here, and the warehouse has the area that you're going to fill in based on the pattern forming portion of the game. And it also has a cheat sheet for how many points each row or column is worth when you sell them in for money, which is the points of the game. You take one token of your color to put near or on your board to remind everyone what color you are, and you place the other one in the 0 spot on the scoreboard, and you're ready to go. And that's basically it. Now we're going to run you through a few turns here and show you how this goes. So to start with, everybody finds the largest group of their color tiles. So I am playing red. My largest group is here and is 6 tiles large. Orthogonal connections only count, so this tile is not connected and this tile is not connected. The green player has this large group here of 5 tiles, and Lynn, you're playing blue. Where's your biggest group there?
3.
So whoever has the smallest group already connected goes first. They're going to take the black tile, move it to a new location, and push it into the formation to try to make a good largest formation of tiles to add to their warehouse. So Lynn moved it to the other side there.
So I'm going to use
4. Nice. Nicely done. So now Lynn has to make that exact shape. She can't turn her board. She can't turn the shape. And she's going to fill that in somewhere on her board. Now she's choosing to do it exactly in the same location it is in, but she could move it without turning it, without mirroring it, but move it to another part of the warehouse if she wants to. Now, going clockwise around the board, it's going to be my turn. I'm trying to make a shape, obviously, with the red tiles here, but I think I'd like to be a little nicer with them I'm going to go over here and make them a little more even. It's a nice big group otherwise. So now I've got 5, and I'm going to move these to the top left of my warehouse to fill in 1, 2, 3 with 2 underneath, because it's going to really help me fill up complete rows and columns this way better than it would otherwise. And once I've filled in the locations on my board, it is now the green player's turn to go. The green player chooses to move here, and in doing so, not only do they enlarge their largest area of green tiles, but they push the black tile back out, which means after going, they're going to get a free extra turn. So they're going to put their 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 over here and fill in this area of their board. And then they're going to get to take another turn. They decide to come back around and actually push on the same area, and they're just going to fill in over here. Now, I'd recommend you do a little dot in the middle of each space, and you can show your opponents then to show them, hey, this is my largest area, and this is where I'm putting it on my board. But of course, we're playing rather quickly for the demonstration. So now that green has gone twice because they managed to push the black square back out, it is now Lynn's turn. Oh, interesting. And you're going to do that to help better fill it in. Because the thing is, your goal is to make fully filled in either rows or columns. The more you can make, the better. So Lynn has adjusted her largest space here, this large group of blues, so that she could fit it in without missing any squares, which was very well done. I'm going to move the green around to this side here, and I'm going to push it up to actually reduce the size of my largest group to a 4 there. And the reason is I want to, similarly, make sure I'm not going to be missing any locations. So I'm filling in 4 here. I have my first completed row. Having a completed row means I could choose to trade it in for points, but 1 row or column, you choose when you trade it in. You can choose either rows or columns. You can erase any number of either rows or columns, not both. But 1 is only worth $1 or 1 point, whereas 2 is worth 3, 3 is worth 6, 4 is worth 10, and 5 is worth 15. So you want to get as many filled in as possible. So I'm going to choose not to trade my 1 in, and I'm going to keep going. So it goes back to green. So green likes this largest space. They're going to be cheeky and get another double turn. They're going to push the black square back out to get an extra turn, because they're going to use this big area here to fill in 2 rows on their sheet by filling in down there. Now I'm doing it the proper way by doing the dots first to show everybody, and then I'm going to fill them in. And then because they pushed the black square back out, they get another free go, and they're going to go around the other side and push this piece back the other way. And in doing so, they're going to also fill in huge scoring. This actually worked out incredibly well for green. Puppy squeaking with a squeak toy. And green has managed to fill in 4 rows. They're going to stop and trade those in. So in doing so, they erase all 4 rows from their board. This is a huge scoring for green. Absolutely enormous. Because 4 rows, not only did they manage to fill them in without breaks, so there's nothing extra in the way when they want to start again, but 4 rows is worth 10 whole points. So green is going to skyrocket all the way up to 10 points. From 0 to 10, that is a huge point swing for green. Well done. Oh, interesting. Where are you going to put that? I was going to say, did you actually think about where you're going to put it? Oh, very interesting. You're filling in a lot of space, but no full rows yet, or columns. All right, so back up to me, and I've got this giant pile of reds over here, which is going to be possibly a little problematic for me. So I'm going to try to figure out, because when they get too big, it's going to get to be very difficult to have them, to fit them on your board. However, I think if I do a little, I'm going to take this here, and I'm going to push this piece back out so that I can fit it in 1, 2, 3 here, and 1, 2, 3. Now I have completed my first column and my second row. And I'm going to, because of the difficulty I'm having in completing these, I'm going to stop and I'm going to cash in rows. I'm going to cash in the 2 rows up top here. So I will erase those 2 rows. Now, that unfortunately was nowhere near as clean as green's cash in. I still have quite a bit on my board there. But I am, with 2 rows, able to get 3 points, and at least it gets me on the board. At which point, it's green's turn, and they're basically starting from scratch here, looking to get lots and lots of points if they can. So they're going to push in over here and make a huge green pattern. And it, wow, is that a big one? Yeah, so it's going 3 wide up there, 2 down over here, and 2 there. They're going to fill in a huge portion of their board in 1 move, because that was an available move that they could do right now and get a lot of their board filled in all at once. And then it is Lynn's turn. Ah, so you got a square. Very nice. Are you going to cash in? You've got... or are you going to still hold off? Because I was going to say, the square's not bad. You actually still got some play you can do with the squares if you keep getting squares.
I'm gonna hold off for now.
Very cool. Okay, so in which case, I am working with my reds, and my reds have been doing all right for me. I'm going to go over here and push these up. So my biggest group is the 2x3 rectangle here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that in right here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This may be a foolish choice. Well, time will tell. I have made some thin groups on either side. I'm hoping to change the bricks around when it comes back around to me to be able to fill those in. Okay, so green decides to push this one down to separate out their groups into separate groups. And they're going to take this group of 5 here, and they're going to fill them in here, completing a single column, but not cashing it in yet. And then it will be back to Lynn. Ooh. So that's, yeah, wow, that fills in a lot. You're going to get 2 more rows out of that. So what do you got? 3 rows? Are you going to cash in the 3 rows? Because I was going to say it's getting difficult to fill in those last couple spaces, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm going to do the... Alright.
Or you could do columns, too.
I could.
I didn't even notice that. You've got your choice, columns or rows. Which do you think will be easier to refill later?
I'm going to do the 3 columns.
Fair enough. So Lynn's going to erase those 3 columns, which 3 gets her 6 points. So she's going to shoot right past me into second place with 6 points over there on the scoreboard. So this is how you play a game of Kiln. Now, in a normal game of Kiln, you keep playing until somebody passes by the amount. Either they get equal to or greater than the 14 points that we have set the winning condition for, at which point they will win the game of Kiln. So now we're going to head back over and we're going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels, and then we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so welcome back. We ran you through a number of turns for a 3-player game of Kiln. So now we're going to talk about some of our positives, some of our negatives. I have a lot of positives, and I'm having trouble coming up with negatives. So I'm going to give it to you for a negative first.
It comes with almost everything you need. It doesn't come with like a little thing to wipe off the boards. Like the dry erase markers, they make ones with little like nuts on the end to erase.
You're grasping at straws with that. You really are. Everyone's got tissues or napkins. They can clean it off. You're definitely grasping at straws. I can't think of any glaring negatives. I don't even have the normal negative I have for most of Nestorgames, because my normal negative is that they don't put the name of the game on the bag, but the symbol to Kiln is the name of the bag, is the name of the game in a bunch of tiles. So I don't even have that normal tiny grasping at straws negative that I have with Nestorgames. Also, I want to say this comes in one of the larger bag sizes.
And it's roomy.
Yeah, there's like so some of the smaller ones can get a little cramped. Not enough that it would be a gripe, but it does stand out enough in this bigger one that there's plenty of space for everything that it is a positive. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How about you? Some positives.
I like the slide puzzle aspect of it. I've always liked slide puzzles.
The slide puzzle nature of it, the multiplayer slide puzzle, is very cool. And also, I love how you're using it to form patterns. It's a pattern forming game, and the pattern forming in it is absolutely fantastic. I love pattern forming games, and this is probably one of the better pattern forming games in my collection now. I think it's really cool for performing patterns. How about you? Got another one to throw out?
I like that you decide before the game starts what point total you're going to play to.
Yeah, it is really cool. It's really cool because if you want to play a longer game, you can play a longer game. If you want to play a shorter game, you can play a shorter game. You decide. I recommend starting on the shorter side to get a feel for how long that takes you and your group to play before deciding if you want to extend it. But like we've extended it to about mid-range, and we usually stick around like middle of the scoreboard, wouldn't you say, for most of our games? And that's really, like, we started out really low, like really short, and those were really fast. And then once we learned it, we were like, okay, and we moved it up a bit. But it's nice that you have that adjustable amount. One other thing I want to throw out that I really like is this game has a very fun, tacked-on theme to it. And it is tacked on because the game is done in a fairly abstract way. It's a slide puzzle / pattern forming game. But the theme is hilarious. The theme is that you are a factory who are making the tiles that go in all other tile laying / tile placement games. And that's funny to me. I think that's, like, see, the thing is, like, with these kind of abstract games, you could put almost any theme you want on it, but that theme in particular is hilarious and is really characterful and fun. And I love that Nestor came up with that for this game. Yeah, I mean, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny, right? It's all right. So the game is fun. Now I want to throw out there, I specifically really like this game at the larger 2-player counts, 3 or 4. Now there is it does play at 2 players, but I feel like it's too back and forth. There's too much of remaking the same groups. Like your opponent moves something, you can go to the other side of the board and just push back in the other direction. Whereas at 3 and 4 players, there's a lot more motion to the board, a lot more going on, and I really like it at higher player counts. What do you think of that?
I like it the same at all player counts.
So you disagree with me then wholeheartedly on that?
Yeah, I think I just like sliding things. I mean, it doesn't...
So it doesn't matter to you if it's 2 or if it's 3. So now they do have, though, we should talk about, that being said, now we haven't gotten to mess with the advanced and optional rules in here yet. There's actually, there's an advanced 2-player mode, and there are a bunch of optional rules. And the advanced 2-player mode actually directly addresses my one issue, is that I'm not a big fan of just the back and forth nature of a 2-player game. Once you get good enough with the rules, you can play the advanced version. And in the advanced version, at 2 players, each player controls 2 of the colors at once. You make one move and fill in areas on both boards. And then when you want to cash in, you have to cash in. You choose either rows or columns and cash in from both boards, which is really interesting. We haven't tried that out yet, but it seems rather brain-burning. It seems like it makes it even more difficult. You have to really coordinate 2 of the colors with each other to be able to play it right. Because if you just look at one board and aren't really paying enough attention to the other board, I mean, doing stuff great for one board could totally mess up your other board. And also, there's a bunch of advanced optional rules. Like there's one where you can put it comes with a bunch of silver tokens, and you can put them in a bunch of the places on the board, and every time someone lands on them, they get a free turn. But you can only get 1 free turn. So if you land on it and push the black tile out, you don't get 2 free turns. It's like 1.
Yeah.
We haven't messed around with any of those yet because we actually really like the base game as it is. But I do appreciate that an advanced mode for 2 players, especially since 2 players is one of the areas where I was having issues with it in the basic game, and those advanced optional rules are put in so if the game starts to get a little stale with you, you've got options to keep messing with it without house ruling it. Just there are designer approved options in here, and that really, in my opinion, will extend the life of the game. We've already been playing it a bunch even without those, and I find it quite replayable. Like really, really replayable because of how you set it up randomly. Every game is different. Would you agree? Like, have you felt like any of the games are the same as a previous game? Like, there are some games where someone can take a crazy runaway lead, and then there's other games where everybody's, like, right neck and neck the whole game, and the patterns are always different. You always have to figure out how to work with new types of patterns. So I find it incredibly replayable, but even then, even if that replayability wears out for you, you've still got a lot more game in here with the optional rules and the advanced play.
Yeah.
So, any more thoughts you'd like to talk about with Kiln?
The only other thing I could think to say is that it might contribute to some people's analysis paralysis.
We haven't had that though, really. Like a little bit, but not really.
It depends on not with the 2 of us, but like with playing with some other people, they were taking their time.
Oh, Cal was having AP. Yeah, I forgot about that. Cal, we kept teasing him that we had to get him a chess clock. I forgot about that. Yeah, we were playing a 4-player game, and it was really just one person.
Yeah.
But he's prone to analysis paralysis, so that's not that surprising. I don't know if I would. I mean, I think
it depends. It depends on the person.
Yeah.
It's not one of those games where it makes every player, no matter what, have analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
It's just. I guess it's just how your brain works. If you find the patterns quickly, then you know what you want to do.
And we're actually pretty quick with this one. We haven't had any problems with analysis paralysis. We had one friend who did, but yeah, like I said, like you said that it's not really the issue with the game. That's just that pattern forming games can cause some people to have analysis paralysis trying to look to make the best patterns. Okay, that said, this game is really good. It's a lot of fun. Who should go first on the review? Do you think you're going to be higher than me or lower than me?
I have no idea.
You're playing it so cool and cool. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you're going to be higher or lower than me.
I don't know either. I'll just go.
Okay.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Oh, okay.
Because I like sliding puzzles. I've always liked sliding puzzles, physical ones and ones in video games. And
this is like a pattern-forming sliding puzzle game?
Yes.
It really is. So, I mean, you've been asking to play this one a bunch when we have people over, so obviously you like it. I knew you were going to be high. I just didn't know if you were going to be higher than me or not. And the answer to that question is yes and no, because you're not higher than me, but you're also not lower than me. I'm exactly an 8 as well. We're in thorough agreement on where we are with Kiln. I really like this game a lot. This game is fantastic. This is definitely up there as one of my favorite pattern forming games in our collection. It's really well done. Solid 8 stars. Absolutely adore this game. Would definitely recommend it to you if you are into pattern forming games. The dry erase is just fun and enjoyable and really works with the other mechanics of the game. I like the dry erase boards. I was a little like, ooh, dry erase boards, that's weird. But then we played it and we're like, no, this is perfect. The dry erase boards are perfect for this game. And it's just fun. And it looks really pretty on the tabletop with all the colors. So yeah, 8 stars out of 10. So that is a 2 thumbs way up review from us here at the Board Game Captain. Because that is 16 total stars out of a 20 possible stars between Lynn and I. So yeah, I guess what we're saying is we can definitely recommend this game to you. If anything we've talked about sounds interesting or enjoyable, you should check out Kiln. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this review and tutorial video and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, either on the game of Kiln or on this video, feel free to put them in the comments down below. And until next time, game on.